guys. Aloha, aloha, and for everybody watching, I'm here with my friend Nayelis. Nayelis lives in Fern Acres, and we're going to be talking about what it is to live in Fern Acres. Nayelis, we have a couple of viewers already signing on, watching this interview from the comfort of their own homes. Nayelis, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience and who you are? Where did you move from, and how did you make the move to Fern Acres?
Okay. Hi, aloha. I'm Nialise, and I am 33 years old. My wife and I, we moved from San Antonio, Texas, about 2 years ago. We just decided to sell our house, and we just took the leap of faith, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
we uh, we were at a point in our lives where we wanted to, live off grid, grow food, and kind of have a community based mindset, and we had gotten out of debt. We didn't want to be like tied to a work or mortgage, and at
Mhm.
that point in our lives we decided to move to the Big Island.
Right. And you did it so successfully, Nayelis. And not only did you move here, but you also created friends, adjusted to life so easily. You started, working and doing, and you guys haven't stopped really ever since you guys moved out here.
And we just kept going. Yeah. Thank you. I think it took a lot of planning on our end, like we had the drive, we still have the drive, just do it. I have that mindset of always like anything I want to do, I just have to go for it.
Right. And so, Nayelis, how did you end up choosing Fern Acres? Because I know from our previous conversations when you were on the very beginning stages of searching where to permanently like live and then build your home, how did you decided to make Fern Acres your home?
Well, we actually
Oh, you're Nayelis. I cannot hear you.
hello,
Oh, there.
sorry.
No.
So we Yeah, I can't see anything, but you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So we actually decided to do a work trade, and the lady that we were doing work trade with, she lived here in Fern Acres. So when we moved here, we really liked the neighborhood, the whole area, and then that's when we decided to just purchase property here.
Right. And so now that you're here, now that you have made Fern Acres your home, what has been the experience like? Like as soon as you moved to Fern Acres, what was the first thing that you did? I know exactly what it is. You started. You tell us.
You tell. Well, we started looking for land, and Mali was actually our real estate agent. Which, by the way, Mali, like you, I can't thank you enough. Like you were amazing from the beginning to end.
Thank you.
Uh, and we were looking for land, and then we ended up finding the property that we wanted.
Right.
We made an offer. We moved in, and I remember when Molly came to like after we closed, we were already building. We're here, and she comes with her husband and to drop off a lemon tree, which is
Yeah.
doing really way.
Yeah.
We're there close, just building our house already. But
Right.
yeah, it was the process of finding the property, making the offer, and then getting in there and starting, to build.
Right. And for, of course, you guys, I've seen your work, I've seen the things that you have built. But for people, oh, Nayelis, you're good. Nayelis, come back to us. Hold on.
Oh, can you hear me
No
now?
worries. You disappear for a minute. Nayelis, for people
Yes.
that haven't, of course, I've seen your home and I've seen how hard you have worked on building your beautiful home in Fern Acres.
Thank you.
Guys, for anybody watching and hasn't seen Nayeli's work, it's like you're so handsy and so like, you're a true builder. She just went at it and created this beautiful tropical oasis in Fern Acres. And your wife and I, I remember when we had that initial meeting. of just welcoming you guys to the island. You guys were already at it. I mean, it's like you
Oh,
guys. I mean, vacant land. I think it took you guys what, like a month to get most of the materials and most of the things in the lot, from what I
yeah, it took
recall.
us 5 days to put up the structure, and then I think 3 months to
Wow.
fully finish it, like the
Wow.
thing. But we were just like from beginning to end, we're just going and going. And I
Right.
think, you know, anybody that wants to move and kind of do the same journey, like, just got to keep going, you know.
Right, right. And you have that mentality also. We were talking about a couple of things offline, and, you know, I think a lot of people move out here thinking, oh, we have a couple of thumbs up going happening on the live. So thank you, viewers. um, so I think that when you move to the island and you don't have a sense of community, things become harder, right? And that's when people start to move away. You guys did that so successfully. Not only were you guys able to get employed, right, with a local company, but also you guys created your own community. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we know a lot of our neighbors, and it's Fern Acres. It's 4 long roads, and then I think there's four roads intersect. So it's a lot of miles of roads. Like,
Right.
we know neighbors from like all the different roads. We walk the streets almost every day, and we
Oh,
talk to neighbors, and we exchange, like, fruit and vegetables and plants. But it starts like with initiative. Like, for us, it's like we took the initiative to reach out to our neighbors, once you open that bridge and build that bridge, it's just back and forth.
easier.
But in like I have a friend, like, or neighbor, and close friends. Like, I go have coffee with him every Sunday, and that's like religiously, like, pretty
Oh,
much we do that. But it takes that initiative from one person, and then from both people to do that, to build that community. But
right,
Fern Acres, definitely there's people here that want to do that. You know what I mean? So it's easier to do that here, I think.
right. And that goes to show that you not only came to the island to live, but you also came to the island to like meet people, right? And create your own community. Like you said, I mean, you visit people religiously on certain days. And I mean, I think that Fern Acres kind of provides that type of environment as well, because it's rural, but I think that even though you are like a couple of acres away from each other, people kind of keep in touch, right? And they kind of, it's kind of like a little family over there in Fern Acres. Or how would
This
you describe Fern Acres? Because you live there, you have the true knowledge
Yeah.
on.
So it's I guess, well, we're not far from everything, but we're like rural. Like, it's a rural area. It's country. If you want to be in the country, this is
Right.
it. But there's also that community aspect of it, where, like, you see people walking, their dogs, and just going for walks. There's a lot of it's agricultural land, so there's people that have like cattle and horses. So there's a little bit of that here too. But for me, it's like it's peaceful, it's quiet. But you still have that sense of people. Like, even though it's quiet and there's a lot of nature around you, there's still a community, and there's still people here.
Right. Right. And so, have you been able to like attend people's, like, other neighbors, like get-togethers or like birthday parties or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, we have get-togethers and just hang out, play card games with our neighbors, and you know
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. And I think that kind of um, gives you guys even more reasons to continue to be there, right? Or continue to stay there and wanting to expand, perhaps, right?
it
Because mhm,
For my wife and I, we definitely feel like we have family here. Even though
right,
it's blood related, it feels like family to me.
right, right. Oh, that is so beautiful, Nayelis. And you're
Thank
continuing to. Now, let's talk about the
you.
actual living there, because you're on Cashment, right? You have
Yeah.
Cashment and then also the internet. How would you describe that type of adjustment, right? Because Cashment, it kind of takes time to fine tune it, and also cell reception or internet. How would you describe that to people that are like moving to the island and are moving to that specific location? And what have been things that have helped you to troubleshoot along the way? Of,
So water catchment, it's once you get like the system up and going, it's pretty good. You just got to maintenance it, like make sure that you treat it like every few months and
Right,
get it cleaned out like maybe every year or so, depending on how big your catchment is.
right.
But once you're used to it, it's pretty good. And then the internet service, that is one thing you want to research, because depending on the whichever area you're at in Fern Acres, like the deeper you go down, there's certain people that have to have like I get things they call it satellite internet.
Satellite.
So
Yeah.
you want to research that. Hey, if internet is a high priority to you, um, the lot that I'm purchasing, is it going to have internet access? Am I going to be able to get Spectrum or whatnot?
Right,
Also, cell service. I know that they just put up like a new tower on Hibiscus. Of I think it's T-Mobile has like a new 5G tower.
right.
So the cell service is getting better, especially if you have T-Mobile. But there is parts in areas where like you don't have cell service, or you can make phone calls and text, but you can't like stream or like look at videos and stuff like that.
That is true. So I think what provider do you have at the moment, or one that you can recommend or speak of that you have enjoyed?
We have Verizon for the
Hmm.
phones, and then we have Spectrum for internet. The Spectrum internet works great. You just have to make sure that you can get that whichever lot you choose, or wherever you're at, because not everybody can get Spectrum.
The spectrum down there. Yep, yep. And how would you say, how involved is the association in regards to, road maintenance, or do they meet every now and then? And what are those meetings about? Or can you speak a little bit on that, like the association?
So we have a great association. I don't know like other neighborhoods, but our neighborhood, it's really great. We
Right,
have Julie Cron, who's amazing, and she's very involved, and she's always like posting things online. You can actually like check out the Fern Acres Facebook page,
that is
and
true.
people are always like, all the neighbors, they talk to each other on there. They're like, hey, there's a cow on the street, or just random stuff like
Oh,
it's on there.
I
It's pretty cool.
mean,
We have
how cool is that?
Yeah, we have neighborhood meetings every month, and then I know that we're working on getting like a greenhouse going in the neighborhood association.
Right.
We have our own little area where you can actually go in person and talk to someone there when they're open, and they want to do like a greenhouse there and stuff. So it's a very involved association.
That is amazing. Because there's a lot of HOA associations on the island, and there's some that are, as soon as you start getting into like subdivisions where, properties there are, over 1 million, you barely see the association, and you can request to get involved. Sometimes, they meet every now and then, but they don't have that kind of like homey feeling to it. Like it's very like cut and dry. They draft the minutes, and it's kind of like an in and out kind of thing. But yours is very different. It's more kind of like a gathering of community members, and it's more kind of like homey. Wouldn't you?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like they take the time to know everybody here,
of course.
and they know like who lives where and what. Like everybody really knows each other here in this neighborhood.
Right.
And it's actually a big community, but it feels small because everybody knows each other.
Right. Right, and they make it so enjoyable for people to want to stay there. Sometimes I encounter people and they're like, oh my gosh, Molly, we're paying all these fees, association fees, and like we don't even know what they do for us. And even though they're actively maintaining the roads, and the community and all that, your association is very distinct on that, to where the members are taking the time to learn about you, and right, they're more involved.
They are, and they
Yeah.
do maintain, but we pay like a fee every year, and it's actually a small fee considering
Oh,
what they
yeah.
do. You see them out there, especially after rain falls. You see the crew out there just working and you
Right.
know roads. So that's nice.
Right. Nayeli, and what has been your biggest adjustment to the island from coming to the mainland to coming to Hawaii in now in Fern Acres?
I think the biggest adjustment is just the convenience of some things. Like, going to town, it's like a 40-minute drive usually.
Right,
Um, so for us, we adjusted well, in a sense where like we make sure that we plan, like, okay, maybe Saturday or whatever day we're off, we're gonna go into town and run all these errands.
right, right,
It, we don't have regular mail that comes to us. There's no street lights, just different, things like that that people would find as inconveniences. For me,
right.
they're just part of living in the country. Like, it's, you get the peace. There's certain things you have to compromise, but the end result of just coming home and you're surrounded by nature and just peace. It's, to me, it's not really questioned. It's not
Right.
an inconvenience at that point.
Oh man, that is so so true. So like when people expect their packages to arrive the next day on Amazon,
Yeah.
and we don't have Amazon Prime
So
here. It's rare.
you got to go to the
I
post
mean, it's
office.
getting a little bit better, right? Since they opened the warehouses over in Oahu, it's getting a little bit better. But yeah, you're right. Conveniences. It's when you're farther away from the nearest Costco, right? That
Yeah.
was an adjustment.
You can't have like Uber or DoorDash come out here and deliver food,
Right. Oh,
but
DoorDash is now in your area
or,
or not yet?
out here, I don't know if
I,
I don't think they do it out here.
I cannot yeah,
Or,
right. Yeah, so little things like that that are kind of like a little bit the conveniences of
yeah,
the mainland, right? That may not be in the fair. What has been the upside of things? So like, okay, so for on one side you left convenience, right? You're not, like 5 minutes away from Costco, but what is the upside there? Like what is now like that you're like, wow, I wouldn't trade this for the world.
just the peacefulness. Like, I get to go out on walks, and it's just being around nature. Like, I really love plants, so I garden a lot, and just for me, being around in nature, like at night, I can see the stars. It's just beautiful.
Oh my
And the
goodness.
people too. The people that live here are just amazing.
Right. And you know what? And not only that, you have a beautiful garden. I
Oh,
I mean, it's like the plants that you showcase on Facebook. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so dreamy." And
thank
you're
you,
you're yeah, you're an amazing gardener and just you have truly created a paradise in Fern Acres. You got
thank
a
you,
gorgeous home with beautiful, flowers and, just tea leaves and local plants that you have, incorporated into your home and it's looking amazing.
thank you. We love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ay, Nayelis. So, if you have any other tips for somebody that is wanting to make the move or transition to the Big Island, what will you say to that person who's thinking, man, I love Fern Acres. I just don't know much about the location. Where should they start, and what tips can you provide to them?
I think start, research online and come to the island. Come with an
Right,
open, like a community sense, and you'll experience that.
right,
And then look at the neighborhood and your neighbors, because we do have, like, it is agricultural land, so you
hmm,
can buy property or land next to someone who
right,
has cows or a lot of chickens or roosters. So if that's something that you don't want, then maybe like shop around. You know what I mean? Like just get to know the area.
right. Oh,
Talk.
you
You know,
you
go
you,
to yeah.
you touch on a huge topic there, which is the environment of
Yes.
Fern Acres. Because for the most part, people see these beautiful acres of land online and they just see a picture, but they don't
Yeah.
know the smell of it. They don't know the sounds, the surrounding sounds, where the property is exactly located. It pays off to come by, right? Explore the area, and then, okay, I'm ready to put an offer because I'm ready to go. I am already educated on location. um, yeah, koki frogs, we have koki
Oh, we
frogs.
do. Yeah. People think they're birds at night. I'm like,
The birds get
people
loud.
know. They're like, are those birds singing? Like, oh, no, they're not birds. They're frogs. They're so cute though.
Oh, the frogs at night.
Yeah, I think they're
Right.
kind of bird sings at night, but no,
I know.
yeah,
Yeah, but you know what? Also, the birds sometimes they do get loud. It's like
yeah,
sometimes people are like, oh, I loved hearing birds in the morning. Yeah, but for some people that are super sensitive to noise, that also
yeah.
plays a huge factor, right? So taking all these pieces into account. Um,
Yes, that's true. Because noise is almost like amplified, like any, because there's not like all these houses, in a way like sound does travel because you're out in the country.
right, right. Wow.
But
Oh
it's
my
not bad
goodness.
frogs. They're cool.
Yeah, the frogs, man. I mean, they get loud at night.
Yeah.
It's like how would you describe the sound, Nayelis?
Uh, Cookie cookie. I don't know.
Right? That's a tone right there. Times 1,000, right?
Yeah, but they're almost like in a way like I don't know. It's like a lullaby to me. It
Yeah.
puts you to sleep. But there's people that it would bother them. They're like, okay, oh my god, I'm trying to sleep. So that's something to consider. 'Cause I don't think in Kona, like over there in Kona, do you guys have coqui frogs?
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
locations on the island that are more present than others.
Oh,
There's some subdivision, more residential zone that where the whole community sprays. But if the subdivision is located, kind of like in a more kind of like a rural area, um, even though it is like a really beautiful manicured subdivision, you may hear them at night because they can spray inside, but not on the lots that are adjacent to this property, right? So, yeah, yeah, we do have koki frogs out here.
okay,
Um,
yeah. Here it probably even more amplified because there's more.
there's more, right?
And,
And there's
and
no. Do you guys spray in Fern Acres? I can recall.
no, we
No,
don't. Not at all.
right?
But there's also chickens that roam around and roosters. So you'll hear like just, if you're into animals, that's good. But
It's
if
heaven.
noises, yeah, it's heaven. But if
But if you are not into animals, oh
it
man.
could be bad.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, Nayeli, so do you want to share a little bit about what it is that you do for a living and kind of, offer your services to people that, may encounter you one day while you process?
So right now I'm in the insurance industry. So I work for a large insurance company. I do insurance claims. My passion is really interior design, which I will, I guess, I don't know if I should say my name on there, but it's on Instagram. It's designed by Medellin,
Uh-huh.
ME,
Oh, I love it.
which that's really my passion. But at this time, like I'm just went back to do insurance, so that way we can build our next house. But
Right.
if,
Right. No, I mean, I really hope that, you get to a point of when you can bring tiny homes to other areas on the island. Guys, her work is so incredible. It's so beautiful. And she's a very talented lady. And I really
hopefully,
hope and wish you, Nayelis, that you can expand your brand and, and just make exciting things, build and go for
yeah,
it.
thank you. So yeah, I worked for Paradise Tiny Homes. I want to give a shout out to Ellie and her brother
Yes.
Dan. They're amazing people. If anybody's looking for tiny houses, so
Right.
they're focused on tiny houses here on the island, and I think she's expanded to the United States. But she's awesome.
Oh,
Her. I worked with them for a little bit, and then I went back to do insurance claims.
insurance, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean your work is so beautiful. You have like an eye for design that and you get pretty creative with tiny spaces, right? So tiny homes is kind of like your specialty, right? And you already have previous experience, right, with building things on the mainland. So
Well, in the mainland, the experience that I had was our house. We did Airbnb, which I have
right,
photos of
right.
my Instagram over.
Oh, please
Yeah,
post it on the comments. I mean,
yeah.
please, like, I mean, I would love for people to see your work. It's so beautiful, Nayelis.
Okay, I'll post our house in Texas on the
Yes.
comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have this like dreamy Airbnb, and
Oh,
now your home looks like an Airbnb in paradise. And
well, we live in a tiny house. Yeah. So our house, we've done a lot to our tiny house here.
right, right.
Yeah.
How would you describe tiny living for people that are unfamiliar with living in tiny quarters? I mean, your home is not like super super tiny, but it is small. How would you describe like the adaptability to like a smaller space?
I think it makes you realize that you don't need that much to live. You know, like when you
Right.
have like in Texas, the one that we had on an Airbnb, it was 1,500 square feet.
Wow.
We downsized and now we're at I think 390 square feet if you include the loft. So it's a big difference in size, but just living in
Wow.
space makes you realize like um how you don't really need a lot to
A
live.
huge space, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Hi, Nayelis. Well, I thank you so much for sharing your experience with people. I think that you are a beautiful voice for Fern Acres, for people that are wanting to explore that subdivision. I think that you, with your positivity, brought a lot of light for people that are in those searches, that are just kind of like pinpointing on where to land, and they want to learn more about the subdivision. I thank you so much for sharing. I love your
You're
knowledge.
welcome.
And we'll keep an eye on, girl, for your upcoming business in the near future.
Yeah,
Once you're ready, we'll love to follow up with you and post your progress out here.
thank you so much. Yeah, in the future, I think in a few years I want to do like a commercial, probably interior design.
Totally.
That would
Yeah.
be my main focus. But yeah, I will definitely keep in touch. And anybody looking for real estate, Molly, she's the
Oh,
person. Yeah.
thank you. Nayelis,
Nope.
thank you so much. You're amazing. You and your wife are amazing, and I thank you for being here and for continuing to enjoy the island. You are
Thank you.
truly enjoying paradise, and we cannot be more happier for you.
Thank you, Molly. Well, pleasure speaking with you. Nice catching up.
Of course. All right. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up this interview. If you guys want to connect further with Nayelis, with your permission, Nayelis, I will just add your contact there. If anybody wants to talk story, Nayelis info will be there. Yeah.
Sounds
Nayelis, I
good.
thank you so much, and we'll be in touch. Aloha.